Dogs are famous for loyalty. They are your best pal, your brother in arms, but even their loyalty can take a wobble from time to time if you accidentally cross certain lines. The problem is that some of these things might seem innocuous to us, like moving a bed, but can really chip away at the foundations of trust between your dog and you if not done right. Pulling them towards scary things. If you have a particularly skittish and anxious dog, there's a situation you'll be all too familiar with. When taking them for a walk or just strolling through the house, all will be fine. But then they'll come against something that you know is A-okay, but to them sends shivers down their spines. A shiny floor, a vacuum cleaner, an innocent man just trying to do his job and deliver the post. Your poor pup skids to a halt, refusing to budge, and looks up at you as if to say, "Please, save me from this." You smile, tell them it's fine, and gently tug the leash to pull them closer. It seems harmless. You're trying to help them get used to it. Dr. Patricia McConnell, the author of The Other End of the Leash, explains in detail why this is not the way to go. Dogs look at us the way puppies look at their mothers. If we drag them towards something they fear, we teach them we are unreliable when it counts. To your dog, to do so feels like betrayal. The better approach is to take it slow. Let them build confidence around the scary thing at their own pace, even if it takes them weeks to get used to the apparently terrifying vacuum cleaner, as nothing is scarier than no dust apparently. And encourage them every step of the way. Toss treats toward the scary thing. Keep your voice light, and be sure to celebrate each tiny step forward for the huge win that it is. When you let your dog choose, they learn that you respect their feelings, and that is a huge trust builder. Changing routines without warning. You're stressed, running low on time, so you skip taking your dog for a walk, or maybe give them their food an hour later than usual. But then they freak out. Seems like an overreaction, right? Well, maybe not. Let me put it like this. If your dog could choose what music to listen to, they'd probably choose the same, easy rhythms of mainstream pop over the chaos of jazz. Because if you've watched other Smelly Belly videos, you'll know how huge patterns and routines are to dogs. If they were a human, they would have an unhinged relationship with Microsoft Excel. And the University of Lincoln's very own professor of veterinary behavioral medicine, Dr. Daniels Mills, has a lot to say on the matter. He has highlighted that not only do dogs need these patterns, but that disruptions to these routines can cause cortisol, otherwise known as the hormone that causes stress and anxiety, to rise faster than sea levels. As anyone who sadly suffers it will know, anxiety is anxiety, regardless of how large or small the trigger. To us, skipping a walk or feeding them an hour later seems small, but for a dog, unpredictability can feel like the ground shifting under their paws. The problem is, life doesn't exactly let us do things exactly how we want, when we want, does it? The key is to, wherever possible, ease them into these changes slowly, and anchor them, as it were, with small and familiar rituals. Keep as much the same as you can, as maintaining a degree of predictability fosters truth. Reaching for sensitive areas without permission. And now, time to justify the thumbnail. Petting your dog is a good thing, right? What dog doesn't love being patted on the head and called a good boy? Well, according to research done in veterinary dermatology in 2010, actually a lot of them. Dogs have low tactile thresholds, meaning they feel lighter pressure and subtle sensations more intensely than we do. Their ears are more packed with nerve endings than Disneyland is packed with kids. So a sudden hand from above can feel invasive, even threatening. Expanding on that research, veterinary behaviorist Dr. Karen Overall notes that dogs interpret unexpected touches, especially those that come from above, as an attempt to dominate or control them. As I'm sure you can imagine, the issue gets even worse if your dog has sadly experienced any kind of significant trauma in the past, or is a rescue dog. This doesn't mean you can't ever touch your dog. That would be mad. But the key is to let them initiate contact. Many dogs adore physical affection. They just prefer to drive things, and when possible, approach from the side, not above. Nobody tries to dominate them from the side. Only good guys come from the side, according to dog logic. Scratch under the chin or chest first, then move towards the ears and hands if they lean in. But only if they lean in, and that's a sign they don't just consent but are loving the affection. In general, watch their body language. Flattened ears, lip licking, or even turning their head slightly away are polite ways of saying, "Not right now." Paying attention to those signals builds trust faster than any treat. Well, most. Ignoring their need to sniff. Sometimes your dog and you might have entirely different justifications for doing the same activity. Let's take walking as a prime example. You're both loving the walk, but you're on the walk to get some good exercise. So you're in the mood to keep on moving and get those steps in. But that's not always why dogs love walks. According to Dr. Alexandra Horowitz, cognitive scientist and author of Being a Dog, our dogs love walks for one big reason: sniffing. It's how they process the world. Dr. Horowitz described it as the canine version of reading the newspaper. It provides mental stimulation, stress relief, and even emotional grounding. I mean, it sounds so good for you. Maybe humans should sniff everything when walking. When we constantly pull them away because from our point of view the sniffing is taking too long and we'd rather focus on hitting 10,000 steps as fast as possible, we're accidentally teaching them that their needs do not matter compared to ours, unless you urgently need to get back. Maybe you've had a text to let you know your house is on fire. Take a moment to slow down and let your dog literally smell the roses. Even 5 minutes of unstructured sniffing can lower stress hormones and strengthen your bond. What's to lose? Roughhousing with your hands. As anyone who has watched the new Superman movie will know, having seen how wonderful a character Krypto the super dog is, most dogs are playful to a degree. They goofily gnaw at your hand, so you join in and wrestle back a little. They love it, so what's the issue? The thing is, yes, they do, but here's the crucial detail. They love it in the moment, but there's a long-term issue at play. Roughhousing with hands teaches dogs that hands are toys, which can lead to unintentional biting or mouthing later. That may lead to them hurting you as they lose their understanding of your threshold, so you scold them, but that's problematic in and of itself, according to veterinary behaviorist Dr. Sophia Yin. She's warned that an inconsistent approach to play, for example, sometimes encouraging biting, but other times scolding it, can create confusion, and nothing erodes trust quite like confusion. To avoid the issue, using toys like tug ropes or stuffed animals instead of your hands when it comes to nibble-based play is the way to go. Moving their safe spots. We all have a favorite place in the world. It could be our fave pub, our football team stadium, or even just a beloved chair in our house. Your dog is the same. You would loathe it if your favorite place in the world mysteriously moved. Imagine if the library you love to spend your weekends in moved to the other side of town with no warning. Your dog doesn't have a pub or a library or a football stadium, but be it a chair or a dog bed under your desk, they still have a favorite spot. And when you move it, that's just as weird to them as your favorite cafe moving would be for you. Because these spots are safe zones, the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior emphasizes that safe zones help dogs regulate stress. When access is removed without warning, dogs can feel displaced and anxious. If you need to move their bed or block a favorite space, introduce the change gradually. No, I don't mean grab the bed and drag it to the new location in slow motion. Place a worn blanket in the new spot. Let them explore it at their own pace, and praise them when they choose to lie there. Dogs trust humans who respect their maps of safety. Teasing in the name of play. Is holding a toy for your dog only to pull it back or pretending to throw a ball when really it didn't more upsetting for your dog than many folks think? Many of us may have playfully teased a friend, and they've been loving it, only to then see their face drop when we accidentally cross a line and we've upset them. Mark Beckhoff, ethologist and author of The Emotional Lives of Animals, explains how we can do this to our dogs as well. In his writing, he explores the idea that fair play is crucial to building trust with your dog. Consistent patterns, throwing when you pretend to throw, and rewarding when they follow cues are essential. Can the tricking I touched upon still be fun? Of course it can. But when we repeatedly trick them, we risk making our signals unreliable and creating a disbalance in play. A situation where they can never win. Keep games fun, but honest. Our dogs love the chase, but the mind games, not so much. Yes, our dogs are loyal and trust us implicitly, but trust is fragile, so do what you must to keep it protected. And if you do, they'll mark you out as special. Want to know how to tell if they have? Then watch our video 6 signs that your dog has marked you as special.